guys, this is Sean McGarry coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, home of the music salon where great things happen. Hope everyone's doing awesome out there. Got a fun little lesson today, I think. You guys will enjoy. I'll probably call this like melodic guitar playing, like how to connect major and minor pentatonics, which is really what it's all about. When you're just trying to play basic guitar, right? You know, the kind of rock blues stuff is connecting those pentatonics. And before we get started here, just a couple updates here, man. The Patreon page is up and running. If you haven't done so yet, please click on the Patreon link below and maybe consider subscribing to that. Helps the channel out. I got some cool lessons I do every week that aren't on here. Tabs to most of these lessons, not everything, but most of them, and backing tracks, blah, blah, blah. Got to mention that because it's important. Let's get into it, man. So trying to think melodically. So one thing I did is, is I just picked this chord progression. I picked the key of D major because it's a nice melodic key, right? And here's what I played. I was going. So D major to B minor to G major and back to D. Now, of course, like always, you can play this however you want rhythmically. That's just what first thing I did when I put the loop on, so I kept that little groove going. But one thing I purposely did, intentionally, was I wanted to go to the to this chord right here. So if we look at the D major scale, if I go, well, that's six, the sixth note. It's the minor. It's called the minor six. So I could have just said that, but I wanted to show you. Whenever you're playing, if you play the major scale of the key you're in this case D major, or the first chord, if you want to figure out something to play, go up to the sixth note of that scale. In this case, it's B. So I just take that note, which is a B, and I just make that a minor chord. So I did want to show that because some people don't know that's important. So again, I pick the minor six. So I go from the D major, which is the 1, to the minor 6, to G major, back to D, and that's it. So just a nice little chord progression, pretty common sound, million tunes. And one of the reasons I did this is because we can talk about the relationship between the major and minor pentatonic scales, which is what this is all about. So let's just say we want to start with the most basic thing that a lot of people play over that, which is the minor pentatonic. So if I'm playing these chords, just think, okay, well, here's that minor chord I can play. And that sounds great over that. So check it out. If I loop it and I go. Start with real simple stuff like that, phrasing around. Okay, now while we're talking about that, I do want to mention a cool way to play around with that is start on B minor. And I was trying to do that, that little lead thing I did at the beginning of this video here, the intro, was I was trying to resolve all my licks, I think for the most part, on D. So not every time, but like if you put that in your head, okay, I'm going to resolve whatever I play on the D note, that'll sound really cool. That's a great way to phrase that. So if I play in B minor pentatonic, right, you want to find your D note. In this case, well, it's the second right there. So if you're playing B minor pentatonic, it's the second note. Look, wherever you play that, so that's pretty convenient. And I just played it up an octave in the higher octave. So if I went, so again, there's my D, also connecting that to my D chord, which is kind of handy. So there's my two triads, B minor, D. So I don't want to get too off the rails here, but I might. I don't know. I can't guarantee it. So if I'm playing around here, try and resolve all these licks from B minor off of or to a D note. So let me just play around with that. And again, you're thinking real basic riffs here, real simple melodic riffs. So check it out. And I'm not going to do anything fancy. I'm going to stay in this box right here. And I'm going to try and resolve on either this note, D, or this note, D. Okay? So here we go. D. D, right? You get the idea. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is go up to our next box and play it. So now we're up here. Right? Okay, and let's identify those D notes. So right here, there's D, right? Remember, it's the second note of that pentatonic, wherever you play it. And there's my D right here. And there's my D. So I'm going to try and resolve these notes on the D from this box right here. So check it out. So practice that. It's a really cool little way to work on your phrasing. And I think that'll help you a lot to just have a landing note. Because I think that's a big problem. Sometimes is people can play some really cool stuff. It's kind of like landing an airplane, right? You get up in the air and you got a beautiful ride and, you know, the weather's great. Oh, shit, we got to land that bird sometime. So you got to land it in that nice, safe spot, that nice zone. So I'm not saying that's the only note you can land on, but that's a good way to practice your phrasing. There's a lot of cool selective notes we can play. But we're just really focused on this major and minor pentatonic. So that's the first thing I would do over this, is just start with that. Now let's look at this. Okay, well, we've got that major pentatonic, or just D major. We could play D major over this. Now listen to this if I go. I'm going to, by the way, here's the D major. One octave, okay? Right off that first chord I'm playing, right? So if I'm going. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Stay there all day long if you can. Check this out. Now let's just go up the scale, right? So you want to start with that. Okay, so there's some nice notes in there you can play around with. But, excuse me here, man. By the way, it's Memorial Day today. I don't know if this video will come out on Memorial Day, but it's Memorial Day morning. So God bless everyone that has kept this country safe. And thank you, and God bless you to all of our past and present service members. And let's not forget what this day is about. So yeah, it's Memorial Day here in Cincinnati, and I'm doing that this morning. That's the first thing I wanted to do before I get out and enjoy this beautiful day. I don't know when this video will come out, but hey. Now, back to guitar for a second. What we want to think about now is just playing the major pentatonic. So we'll get rid of those notes for now. So we're going to get rid of some of these notes, the 4th and 7th of the scale. By the way, if you don't know this, the major pentatonic is just remove the 4 and 7 from the major scale. Repeat that. The major pentatonic is the major scale without the 4th and 7th degree. That's all it is. So you can never forget that. So if you go like this, we're going to get rid of the 4th note and 7th note. We're left with this. Okay, now, you know, most people will play it like this, just because it's pretty easy, right? So I assume you know that. We could play it up in a couple octaves, look. And man, for me, that's the major pentatonic is probably my favorite thing to play. It just sounds so good always. It sounds good over everything, and it's just such a cool sound, man. We can, in so many of our classic songs, from Southern rock to blues to rock, have that beautiful sound. And to me, it's just a wonderful scale. But now what I want to talk about is the connection between the major and the minor. Okay, now let me show you another exercise real quick, another little exercise. So I don't always have to start on the root note. So here's D. So if I go, well, I'm going to start on my A note just to give me a nice little box here. So watch this. So all I did is I just played an A note first. A, B, then up to the D. That gives me a nice little phrasing tool. Just that little thing right there is to me, adds a lot of value. So the whole exercise or scale would be. Now, if you notice what happens here is when I go like this, as soon as as I hit here, let's stop right now. If you don't know this, I want you to identify that as soon as you hit that note, you are now inside of your B minor pentatonic. So you started on D major. Right now, I'm inside of this. It's so easy, man. And once you connect those dots, then it's gold. Now, a lot of people say, what's the difference? I mean, well, I guess there isn't a difference, but it's just how you visualize things and play it. That's the key. And I'm not going to use the word argue, but a lot of people want to debate me on this and say that, well, you shouldn't think of it like this. Well, I mean, there's no certain way you have to think about it. I don't know. Think about it however you want. But I'm just telling you what works for my simple mind is when I play things like that, you're going to phrase differently. You're going to play differently, whether you think you are or not. You are going to. So that's the reason why. So as I tell people, it's like, look, you can think of it. You don't have to think of this as B minor pentatonic when you get here, because it's the same notes. But if you do think of it like that, you're going to jump out of that scale for a minute and play some other surrounding notes. I guess that's what I'm trying to say here. So like if you go, that's all D major. But if I go, I'm going to play a little differently, a little bluesier, maybe throw some bands in out of B minor. So just keep that in the back of your mind. So now we've established we have D major and B minor, and we're set to go. So what you want to start doing is really finding these little phrases. Now I'm going to show you some real simple exercises here, but I think are great tools for you guys. So now let's bring our friends, the triads, the chords into the mix here. So if we're playing, let's think of D major right here. Okay, there's our D major, like our F-shaped D. There's an inversion right here. Oh, one more thing here too. Another beautiful thing here, when you're playing inside of your B minor pentatonic, right? This is the coolest thing. Look what that is. That's your D major triad, your A-shaped D right here. I could put the major third and the bass down here and get this nice inversion. So when you're playing that minor pentatonic anywhere on the neck, just know that right there is your D major. So now I've got this D, and we'll start right there. Or we can throw this in there. But I want to do, and also here's your minor. So B minor, D major. Practice this. This is kind of cool. If you go B minor, that'll kind of get you in that mindset of there's my chords, there's my scale tones. So this little exercise I want to show you is it's just you're doing this. You're going. Might seem pretty basic, but you're going to outline visually these little areas of these chords and the scales, and you're also going to start to make that into phrasing. So check this out. Let's see here. I mean, it sounds good. You just want to do that little exercise to kind of get your ear used to hearing all these sounds, and then you can build off that, of course. You're not just going to do that all day long, but that gets you used to playing it. Then you start adding things together, But I like those little exercises, and I practice those and I show them a lot because I think they're very effective tools when you're trying to learn how to phrase. And this is really what it's all about, phrasing. It's not just playing a bunch of notes randomly and fast. It's about making memorable sounds that people like and that you like, okay? So that's one idea there, another idea. Now, the other thing I was doing was kind of combining things, with some double stops. Like, so when you play now you're combining those chords and the major and minor pentatonic. So like if I play up here, you got all these wonderful little chords here. Now here's another little thing here. When you're playing like this F shape, you've got all these extensions here, right? So if I go D, here's my F-shaped D. I can go D. There's a D sus. I'm just adding that pinky on right on the 12th fret. Here's a D6, D add 9. inversions. Look at this, like a sus chord. Get all these little things off that, so that's gold right there if you're playing around with this stuff like it. Okay, so all day long with that little stuff, man, is little double stops. So now we're combining major pentatonic, minor pentatonic, and double stops, okay? And these little phrasing tools, right? And also trying to land on that D note. So that's a great place to start. Now, I do want to address one thing real quickly. A lot of people will get confused in this, and they'll think play minor pentatonic, D minor pentatonic over this. Now, let me show you this real quickly. And this is a common mistake, but to nobody's fault, because I used to do the same thing. So if I would, there was a time in my life where somebody played, I'm heading straight for that D minor pentatonic, baby. I'm going right for it. But it's not really what you want. Listen. So here's D minor pentatonic instead of D major. Doesn't work, right? But it can in a split second. So watch this if I go. So it's a very cool effect if you use it sparingly, just kind of do a little bluesy lick and quickly resolve it on that D. That works. So just be aware of that, because a lot of people will start to throw that D minor pentatonic in here and go, what the is going on, man? That doesn't sound right. So, okay, guys and gals, I hope this helped you out a little bit. So just practice that little loop there, or whatever you want, anything in D major, and it works over B minor as well. You can reverse engineer all this stuff. So thanks for watching. Please hit the like and subscribe button if you got something out of this video. I really appreciate it. Happy Memorial Day, even though it's probably not Memorial Day when you're watching this, but God bless everyone. Stay safe out there, and thanks for watching my channel. Appreciate it.